Alright, today we are going to go over my backyard RC rock crawling course. We basically were using this hill for nothing, and now we have a decent use for it now. So, right over here is the beginning. You go underneath this little arch, and all the rocks on the ground are supposed to be on the arch. This is still a work in progress. I have to glue all those down so they don't move around when you crawl over top of it from this way. So from there you go up this decent climb here, and then after you make it up the climb, come around through here to the arches, which basically all this is I took a burn barrel, like a fire ring, and cut it in half, bent the arches out. So it's basically that. Come down over here, dug out a pit, filled it with rocks, makes it really challenging to get through. And then some just bricks we had laying around into a pyramid, which is actually really simple to get over, surprisingly. It's not really difficult at all, but it's there, so we're going to keep it there. We'll change it later. And then over this other arch, which I still have to put some rocks on still, but it's sitting there so we know where it's going to stay. Then you have a little drop here, a little off-camber drop. Then it comes around into another drop, and I dug this out, filled it with rocks to make it challenging. And get down in here a little bit so you can see it kind of comes up, and it's rather difficult right here at the beginning because you drop down, hit your axles and stuff. It's not the easiest thing to get out of. Then you come around basically here, and it's all off camber, so it's kind of weird. Let me move over here real quick. Come down here into this little climb, which isn't nothing, but it leads to the suspension bridge. And then you go across the suspension bridge over the other stable bridge, I guess, down here. And we had to put this rock here because of the fact that when we came down the ramp, you would just roll down the hill. So we put the rock there so you hit the front right wheel and it basically stops you from rolling. And then this part is not done yet, but it's still in the works. You're basically going to go up this grass section, which I have to dig out still, over this set of rocks, which makes it really hard here because you got to get your wheel placement good, down. And then we're going to go out and around sort of like this, and then come over this set of rocks here, down over this set of rocks, and then basically right over the beginning here, up over this rock, over the arch bridge I was just talking about. Now this part's definitely not done because we're digging all the dirt up and putting it over here, and it's going to be just basically a climb. We have the little extra rocks laying up there at the top still that I haven't had any chance to use yet. So after we get over this climb, this is going to stay grass, I think, just because up next is the rock garden, and there's going to be different ways you can get into the rock garden. So I'm just going to leave this grass, but here's the beginning of our rock garden. And it's relatively flat, as you can tell. I might later put some hills in it or something just to make it a little more challenging. But you got the whole rock garden here, right up against the house. And then you're done. Now, basically, all this literally cost me gas money driving around for all the rocks, because I went to farmers' houses and knocked on their door and asked them if they had any rocks they wanted to get rid of. Now, more times out of plenty of the times, they said no, and a couple times I got lucky and I ended up with all those rocks. And for over here, the only thing that really cost me anything was all the screws to screw in all the little slats for the bridge. And I already had this wire laying around, a cable from an old project I did. The only thing I had to buy were these crimps to crimp it together, and they were like a couple cents at the hardware store. And I also bought the little rings here so it didn't fray the cable. That's how I mounted it to there. Everything else was found, already had, or just, you know, chopped up some wood and had creative ideas and went with it. So it doesn't take much to make something like this in your own backyard. You just have to have a little bit of imagination and a very understanding wife to be able to do it. So that's it for now, and as always, like and subscribe so I can keep making some videos. Bye.